There's a belief that has quietly taken root in our society, a kind of weary acceptance that as we get older, losing our teeth is just a part of the deal, something you just have to go through. Maybe you've heard it said in your own family, over a holiday dinner, or in a quiet conversation. Well, you get to a certain age and the teeth just start to go, I've heard it, but I don't see it that way. Not at all. For nearly 50 years, I've had the profound privilege of being a dentist. I've treated thousands of patients, looked into thousands of mouths, and listened to even more stories. And if there is one single unwavering truth that I have discovered in all that time, it is this: the number of cases where a natural tooth can be saved, even a wobbly one, far, far outweighs the cases where it is truly a lost cause. The idea that we need to rush to bone grafts and surgical implants is, more often than not, a fiction. So many good people hear the words, you don't have enough bone from a dentist, and their hearts sink. Panic sets in. They immediately schedule a surgery they may not even need, terrified of the alternative. And now, the whispers are getting louder, more fantastical. I'm hearing talk of a single injection that can magically regrow a lost tooth. And of course, wouldn't that be a wonderful day? A miracle of modern science. But I'm here to tell you, with all the honesty I can muster, that day is not today. It is a long, long way off. An implant should be the last line of defense, the final option you choose when a tooth can truly no longer do its job. But somewhere along the way, that philosophy has been turned completely upside down. And frankly, it worries me deeply. It's why I'm here. My name is Dr. Arthur Collins. I'm 80 years old this year, and I have dedicated my entire life to one thing: protecting the health of my patients' mouths. For me, the greatest joy in my profession has never been a complex surgery or a perfect cosmetic result. It has been listening to the life stories held within each and every tooth, understanding the worries of the person in my chair, and working with them to find a solution. That has always been my greatest reward. And that is the very reason I've decided to speak with you today. It is my sincere hope that this conversation we're about to have can be a small beacon of light, helping you protect the precious teeth you have. I don't want to just push another procedure. I want to teach you the real way to save your teeth. I want to show you that more important than any surgery are the simple, powerful habits you build and the correct information you hold. Now, when you saw the title of this video, you might have thought I was going to say, never get a dental implant. That's not it. Let me be clear. Implants are a truly remarkable treatment. They are a feat of engineering and have changed countless lives for the better. But my core belief, forged over a lifetime of practice, is that they should only be used when absolutely necessary. Before you let anyone pull a perfectly salvageable tooth, before you endure a complex and painful surgery, there is a world of knowledge you need to have. And today, I am going to share all of it with you. A tooth, once lost, can never be brought back. But even now, right this moment, with the proper care, you can make the teeth you have last for the rest of your life. Through this conversation, I truly hope to change your perspective on your own dental health and to help you reclaim a healthier, more confident smile. Before we begin, I have a question for you, and I'd be grateful if you share your experience. How many implants have you had so far? If you feel comfortable, please leave a comment below. It would be a great help for me to understand your experiences, and your story could become a source of valuable wisdom for others here. So, let's start with a story. A story that shows exactly why this conversation is so important. A story about how we can avoid unnecessary implants. Just a few days ago, a 77-year-old woman named Eleanor Vance walked into my office. She had a look on her face I've seen 1,000 times, a deep, weary exhaustion. Her eyes filled with anxiety. A quick glance was all it took to see the problem. Many of her teeth were visibly loose, and she'd already lost one completely. She told me she'd been to another clinic. They took one look and told her, almost immediately, that she needed 3, maybe 4 implants. The cost was staggering, of course, but that wasn't what scared her the most. It was the procedure itself. The thought of having her gums cut open, of having screws drilled into her jawbone, it terrified her, and she left feeling lost and conflicted. I understood her fear completely. So many people in her position feel that same dread, but at the same time, my heart ached with a sense of frustration because her situation is so incredibly common. After I conducted a careful and thorough examination, I found the truth. The inflammation in her gums was severe, yes, but only a single tooth was beyond saving. Just one, all the others, the ones that felt wobbly and weak, were absolutely salvageable. I explained to her that while her gum disease was advanced, it wasn't a death sentence for her teeth. With the right treatment and, more importantly, consistent care at home, we could make those loose teeth strong and stable again. We could turn this whole thing around. We started with the fundamentals. We performed a deep cleaning, a procedure called root planing, to remove the tartar and plaque that had built up far below the gum line, right on the roots of her teeth. We cleaned out the source of the infection, and then I asked her to make me a single promise. Just one. I asked her to commit every single day to a simple routine, brushing 3 times a day, and crucially, using a dental floss and interdental brushes, those little brushes that get between the teeth. It's an astonishingly simple habit, but I emphasized to her that keeping this one promise would be the most important part of her healing. Mrs. Vance put her trust in me, and she put in the work day after day. She told me later that at first, it felt tedious, almost overwhelming at times. But every morning and every night, she stood in front of her mirror, looked closely at her gums, and cleaned every last corner of every tooth. The result, it was nothing short of remarkable. In just 2 months, the inflammation had visibly subsided. The puffiness and redness were gone. The teeth that had been so loose they felt like they could fall out at any moment were now becoming stable. Anchored once again in healing gums, seeing the bright, genuine smile spread across her face, it warmed my heart in a way that no complex surgery ever could. "Doctor," she said, her voice filled with relief, "I can't believe it. I just did what you told me to do. And this happened. Thank you so much." That single sentence, more than any technical achievement, is what gives my work meaning. Now, it is vital that you hear the rest of what I have to say, so you'll understand the full picture. I am not telling you to avoid implants at all costs. I will say it again. For patients who truly need them, implants are an excellent, life-changing treatment. My message is about avoiding the indiscriminate use of implants, about not sacrificing a healthy, savable tooth. To protect your precious teeth, to save yourself from unnecessary pain and expense, you must be armed with the right knowledge and the right habits. I urge you to stay with me through this discussion to understand why you need to change your habits starting today. And just a quick pause if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. It helps this information reach more people who need to hear it. And your support allows us to continue creating content that can help people live healthier lives. So, what is this crucial information that can help you protect your teeth? Let's break it down, one piece at a time. First, bone graft should only be a last resort. This is one of the most common things I hear from new patients. They walk in worried and say, "My other dentist told me I need a bone graft. He said I don't have enough bone for an implant." Let's be very clear. A bone graft is absolutely necessary in some cases. It's a procedure for patients whose jawbone is genuinely too thin or soft to securely anchor an implant. Take the case of another patient of mine, Walter Harrison. He was 78, and for years, he'd wanted to get an implant, but he had a congenital condition where his jawbone was naturally thin. There just wasn't enough space or density to place the implant screw. In a situation like his, a small bone graft was the necessary first step to build a solid foundation. If the foundation of a house is weak, you can't build on it. It's the same principle. An implant needs a strong, healthy bone to lock into, or it will fail. However, and this is the point I cannot stress enough in my decades of practice, I have found that cases like Walter's where a graft is truly unavoidable, are far less common than you might think. The vast majority of the time, when a patient is told their bone is insufficient, the real problem isn't a lack of bone. It's the presence of severe inflammation. You see, chronic gum disease or periodontitis is an infection. And this infection literally eats away at the bone that supports your teeth. The inflammation causes the bone to dissolve. So when a scan is taken, the bone level appears low, and the immediate conclusion is often, we need to add more bone. But think about that for a moment. If you have a fire in your house, do you start by rebuilding the walls that have been burned? No. You put out the fire first. In these cases, the fire is the inflammation. If you diligently remove the source of the infection, the plaque and tartar deep below the gum line, and then maintain impeccable oral hygiene, something amazing happens. The human body has a powerful, innate ability to heal itself. Once the inflammation is gone, the gums can heal. And over time, the bone can often regenerate and fill in on its own. It's a natural process. So why do so many clinics push for a bone graft right away? The simple answer is speed. It's about the surgical schedule. Waiting for bone to naturally regenerate takes time, months, sometimes longer. Placing an artificial bone graft material allows the clinic to proceed with the implant surgery on a much faster timeline. But this rush comes with significant risks. Introducing a foreign material like a bone graft into an area that was recently inflamed can increase the risk of infection. This is especially dangerous for older patients, whose immune systems may be weaker and more vulnerable. Unless it is absolutely essential, waiting for the body to heal naturally is a far safer and wiser choice. A bone graft is, at its core, an artificial intervention. It's a process of putting something into your body that wasn't there before. And with any such procedure, you must always be mindful of the potential for side effects and complications. So, if you are ever diagnosed with insufficient bone, I implore you, do not rush into surgery. Ask your dentist critical questions. Is it possible to wait? Could this be caused by inflammation? Is there a chance my body can heal on its own if we treat the gum disease first? You must have a thorough conversation, understand the possibility of natural healing, and make a careful, informed decision. If you're feeling pressured to get a bone graft, don't be swayed by the promise of a faster surgery. Take a step back and get a second opinion if you must. Objectively reevaluate your own situation. Your body's own healing power is a resource that should never be underestimated. Second, the tooth regeneration injection is still a distant dream. This is a more recent phenomenon, but one that has been causing a lot of excitement and, I fear, a lot of false hope. The idea that you can get a single shot and regrow a tooth you lost years ago, it sounds like science fiction. I was astonished when I first heard patients asking me about it. I understand the appeal. It's a deeply compelling idea, but unfortunately, this treatment is, at best, in its infancy. It is still confined to the earliest stages of laboratory research. The theory involves injecting a special type of gene that stimulates the body's tooth formation process. And while there have been some reported successes in animal experiments, the hurdles we need to overcome before this is a viable option for humans are immense. For example, some of the significant side effects reported in these early studies are deeply concerning. The new teeth sometimes grow in the wrong position, or they grow into malformed, abnormal shapes. There is a profound lack of control over the process. A treatment like this is much closer to a clinical experiment than a reliable therapy. Because it involves injecting genetic material directly into the body, the safety profile is nowhere near being fully established. We simply don't know the long-term consequences. So, if anyone on the internet, in a pamphlet, or anywhere else tells you that you can regrow your lost tooth with a simple injection, please be incredibly skeptical. There is a very high probability that it is false advertising. Putting your hope and your money into an unverified, experimental treatment can lead not only to financial loss, but also to irreversible health problems. I know how much patients want to believe in a miracle cure, but I am asking you to be cautious. Unverified information often leads to greater disappointment and can cause real harm. It is crucial to make wise judgments based on proven, established science, not on hopeful headlines. Third, your implant is not indestructible. There's a common and dangerous misconception about dental implants. People call them artificial teeth, and they assume that once an implant is in, it's a permanent, worry-free solution that will last a lifetime. It's true that an implant cannot get a cavity. The crown is made of porcelain, and the screw is made of titanium. But an implant is just as vulnerable to bacteria as a natural tooth in some ways, even more so. You can, and many people do, develop a form of gum disease around an implant. It's called peri-implantitis. Just like with a natural tooth, if plaque and bacteria are allowed to build up around the base of the implant, they will cause inflammation in the gums. If that inflammation is left untreated, it will begin to destroy the bone that is holding the implant in place. Eventually, the implant will become loose and fall out. What's terrifying about peri-implantitis is that it often progresses much faster than gum disease around a natural tooth, and it is significantly more difficult to treat. A few years ago, a patient named Carol Miller came to see me. She was 74 and had received an implant several years prior, believing her tooth troubles were over. She had become complacent with her oral hygiene. She brushed, but she admitted she rarely thought about it. She never used dental floss or interdental brushes. She came to me because the area around her implant was swollen and bleeding. When I examined it, my heart sank. The inflammation around the titanium screw was severe and had been progressing for a long time. The bone loss was extensive. We were in a very serious situation where the only option was to remove the implant and start the entire surgical process all over again. Her story is a powerful lesson. After you get an implant, your oral hygiene routine becomes more critical than ever. You must use floss and interdental brushes to clean around it. You must have regular dental checkups and cleanings. The belief that it's artificial, so it'll be fine, is a dangerous illusion. If you neglect an implant, it can develop problems even faster than a natural tooth. Please, remember that fact. An implant is a tool, not a magic wand. It requires your lifelong commitment to care. Fourth, regular scaling is often not enough. Many people believe that if they go to the dentist every 6 months for a regular cleaning or scaling, they're doing everything they need to do to protect their gums. And don't get me wrong, scaling is a very important preventive treatment. It's essential for maintaining good oral health, but it has a crucial limitation. Scaling only removes the tartar and plaque above the gum line. When gum disease becomes more advanced, the problem isn't on the surface. The real danger is the buildup that occurs deep inside the gum pocket on the root of the tooth. The tartar that has accumulated there and the inflammation it causes cannot be removed with a standard scaling. In these cases, a more intensive treatment is required. We call it root planing or a deep cleaning. This is a procedure where we carefully clean the surfaces of the tooth's root, smoothing them out to remove the source of the infection and allow the gums to heal and reattach. I often have patients who ask, isn't a regular cleaning good enough? But gum disease is not a one-size-fits-all problem. The treatment must be tailored to the depth and severity of the inflammation. If you ignore a deep infection and only clean the surface, you are allowing the disease to continue its destructive path. The inflammation will continue to damage the bone, and eventually, the tooth will be lost. So, if your dentist recommends a deep cleaning or gum treatment, please don't dismiss it as an inconvenience. Take it seriously. It is a critical process for saving your teeth. It is the step that can stop the disease in its tracks and prevent the need for extractions and implants down the line. Have you ever been told you need a deeper gum treatment? It's a sign that your body needs help fighting a deeper infection. Fifth, you must change the daily habits that are destroying your gums. This is, without a doubt, the most important point of all. You can receive the best, most expensive dental treatment in the world, but it will all be for nothing if you don't change the daily habits that caused the problem in the first place. And the single worst habit, the most destructive thing you can do to your oral health, is going to bed without brushing your teeth. When we sleep, our body's production of saliva decreases dramatically. Saliva is our mouth's natural defense system. It helps to wash away food particles and neutralize acids. When it dries up, our mouth becomes the perfect incubator for bacteria. They multiply at an explosive rate. If there are any food particles left over from the day, the bacteria will have a feast. They will produce acids and toxins that directly attack your gums, slowly but surely dissolving the bone that holds your teeth in place. Therefore, the absolute bare minimum is brushing 3 times a day. But the gold standard, the foundation of a healthy mouth, is a full routine. Brushing, flossing, using interdental brushes, and even using a mouthwash. This basic, fundamental routine is everything. If you don't change this, any treatment you receive is merely a temporary fix. Wobbly teeth and bleeding gums are not random events. They are the cumulative result of years of incorrect or neglected habits. You could say, without any exaggeration, that the future of your dental health rests on your toothbrush and a simple string of floss. So, let me ask you, are you prepared to brush your teeth before you go to sleep tonight? Let's talk about the tools. What really works? Now that we've covered the core principles, let's touch on some of the specific tools and products that many of you have questions about. Topic 1. Electric toothbrushes and water picks, who needs them? This is a question I get all the time. Doctor, should I buy an electric toothbrush? Is a water pick worth the money? People are worried they need to buy expensive gadgets to have healthy teeth. The truth is, these tools are not essential for everyone. If you have good manual dexterity and use a regular toothbrush and floss correctly and consistently, you can achieve excellent results. However, in certain situations, these devices can be incredibly helpful. For example, for my elderly patient whose hand strength has weakened, making it difficult to brush thoroughly, an electric toothbrush can be a game changer. The consistent vibration and rotation do the work for them, effectively removing plaque from every corner of the mouth without straining their hands. Similarly, for someone with braces, where a toothbrush has a hard time reaching around all the wires and brackets, a water pick or water flosser can be invaluable. The same goes for people with wider gaps between their teeth where food tends to get trapped. A water flosser uses a strong stream of water to flush out debris from between the teeth and along the gum line where a toothbrush can't reach. But a word of caution is needed. Improper use can actually cause harm. It is possible to be too aggressive. If you set the pressure on a water flosser too high, it can irritate or even damage your gums. It's best to start on the lowest setting and gradually increase the pressure as your gums get healthier. With an electric toothbrush, you must learn not to press too hard. Let the brush do the work, you just need to guide it. If you're using one of these devices and you experience pain or bleeding, stop immediately, reread the instructions, or better yet, bring it to your next dental appointment and have your hygienist show you the proper technique. You may simply need to switch to a softer brush head. If you have a caregiver, it's also a great idea for them to learn how to use these tools to help you. Ultimately, the most important thing is not the tool itself, but the habit of using it correctly and consistently. Have you ever tried an electric toothbrush? What was your experience? Topic 2. Whitening toothpaste. It's the ingredients that matter, not the ads. So many people are concerned about their teeth yellowing over time and turn to whitening toothpaste. They're drawn in by advertisements promising a brilliantly white smile, but after trying various products, they tell me they just don't see the results they were hoping for. The whitening effect of a toothpaste depends almost entirely on the presence and concentration of one key ingredient, hydrogen peroxide. This is the active agent that actually bleaches the enamel. Therefore, instead of choosing a product based on its flashy packaging or marketing claims, you must turn the box over and check the ingredient list. Furthermore, if you have weak or sensitive gums, be very careful. Hydrogen peroxide can be an irritant. In that case, you should look for a product with a lower concentration or one specifically formulated for sensitive teeth. There are many options on the market today, so it's important to make a choice that is appropriate for your specific oral condition. The indiscriminate use of whitening toothpaste can do more harm than good. It can damage your enamel and lead to severe tooth sensitivity. Please, Prioritize your health over aesthetics. Always consider the ingredients and your own oral condition before you choose a product. Have you ever taken a moment to look at the ingredients in your current toothpaste? Topic 3. Tooth sensitivity. There's a specific toothpaste for that. Do you ever get that sharp, zinging pain when you eat something cold or sweet? Or even when a cool breeze hits your teeth? That's called dentin hypersensitivity. This happens when the outermost layer of your tooth, the enamel, has been worn away. This exposes the layer underneath, called dentin, which is full of microscopic tubules that lead directly to the nerve of the tooth. When an external stimulus like cold hits these exposed tubules, it sends a pain signal straight to the nerve. In these situations, using a functional toothpaste designed for sensitive teeth can be very effective. Look for ingredients like potassium, nitrate, or stannous fluoride. These ingredients work in two main ways. They either form a protective layer over the exposed tubules, blocking the external stimuli, or they work to calm the nerve itself, making it less reactive. On the other hand, using a whitening toothpaste can actually make sensitivity much worse, as the peroxide can be a major irritant to an already exposed nerve. So, if you suffer from sensitivity, it's a very good idea to switch from a regular or whitening toothpaste to one specifically designed for this condition. Choosing the right product for your specific problem is crucial. Topic 4. Can oral probiotics help? With the growing interest in oral health, a new category of products has emerged: oral probiotics. These are supplements that claim to improve the balance of bacteria in your mouth. There is some interesting research emerging in this field. Studies have shown that these probiotics can help increase the number of beneficial bacteria in the mouth, which in turn can help suppress the growth of harmful bacteria. Our mouths are home to countless strains of bacteria. Some, like Streptococcus mutans, are known to cause cavities. Others, like Porphyromonas gingivalis, are major contributors to gum disease. The idea behind oral probiotics is that they introduce good bacteria to crowd out the bad ones. However, not all products are created equal. The science is still evolving, and we need more research to determine exactly which strains of probiotics are most effective and in what doses. Therefore, if you choose to try them, it's important to select a product from a reputable company that contains strains specifically studied for oral health benefits. If you are concerned about your oral health, considering an oral probiotic is not a bad idea, but it should never be a substitute for the fundamentals of brushing and flossing. Have you ever tried an oral probiotic? I'd be interested to hear about your experience. Conclusion. The simple, unwavering truth, the core of my message to you today, the belief that I have held on to through 50 years of practice, is very simple. If a tooth can be saved, it should be saved. Every time. An implant is an excellent and necessary treatment, but it should be the last resort, the final option when all other avenues have been exhausted. It is far wiser and far more valuable to protect the precious, natural teeth that remain in your mouth than to endure a painful surgery to replace a tooth that could have been kept. The same is true for bone grafts. Don't be terrified by the words insufficient bone. In my long experience, I have seen that in the vast majority of cases, if you can get the inflammation under control and give your body time, the bone will often heal on its own. Rushing into a bone graft may only increase your risk of infection, unless you are in a situation like my patient Walter Harrison, where there is a genuine structural lack of bone. Allowing your body to heal naturally is the safer and more beneficial path. And as for the futuristic tooth regeneration injections, they are a hope for tomorrow, not a solution for today. They are still experimental. Rather than pinning your hopes on an uncertain future, it is so much more important to choose the most effective and reliable method you have at your disposal right now. And what is that method? It is the same simple truth I have been emphasizing my entire career. It is mastering the basics. Whether you have implants or all your natural teeth, the most important thing you can do is to commit to the daily habit of brushing 3 times a day and using dental floss and interdental brushes without fail. Not long ago, a patient in his 80 seconds asked me a question. "Doctor," he said, "isn't it just a fact of life that your teeth get loose when you get old?" No, I told him, absolutely not. Teeth don't get loose because of your age. They get loose because of inflammation in the gums that surround the roots of your teeth. With consistent, proper care, even a wobbly tooth can become firm again as the gums heal and regain their strength. This is not a theory. This is a truth I have witnessed with my own eyes. In thousands of patients, over decades of practice, the right habits can completely transform the rest of your life. You can go from a life of pain, where your gums are sore and every bite is a struggle, to a life where you can eat the food you love, laugh with confidence, and smile without fear. And the benefits go far beyond just your mouth. When you can't chew your food properly, your digestion suffers. You can experience bloating, indigestion, and discomfort. When your gum health improves, your digestion often improves along with it. Furthermore, a growing body of research is revealing a shocking link between gum health and systemic health. We now know that good oral hygiene can reduce the risk of serious conditions like diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Your oral health is, in many ways, the gateway to your overall health. A tooth, once it is gone, will never come back. But I promise you, starting from this very moment, if you manage your oral health properly, you can keep the teeth you have for a lifetime. My goal today was not to overwhelm you with complex medical information. It was to share with you the simplest and most important piece of wisdom I've gained in my life's work, and that wisdom is this: consistency and habit. I hope that starting today, you will create one small new habit in your life for the sake of your gums. If you remember only one thing from our conversation today, let it be this: never, ever skip brushing your teeth before bed. No matter how tired you are, no matter how much the day has worn you down, I want you to remember this one promise to yourself. This one small habit could be the very thing that saves your teeth for the rest of your life. In our next video, I'll be discussing the fascinating and dangerous relationship between gum disease and diabetes, how one can worsen the other, and what you can do about it. But before that, I want to hear from you. Based on what we've talked about today, what is the one thing you are going to change? What is the first habit you know you need to fix? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would be grateful to hear your story. Thank you for your time.